Hey everyone, welcome to the Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about why willpower isn't going to work for weight loss, because you have probably been trying to lose weight primarily forcing yourself to eat differently, act differently with willpower, and it's not working long term. Yes, it will work short term sometimes, but it's never going to work long term. You can't fight against yourself and live at your goal weight forever. It's just never going to work. And that's what it's felt like. It feels like every time you want to lose weight, you have to fight against yourself. And this really is the core of why you're struggling to lose weight. So, what's the alternative to that? The alternative to relying on willpower is to change your subconscious programming. So, let me just take a step back and explain your mind in a hypnotic sense. You have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. The conscious part of your mind is logical and rational. This is the part of your brain that knows what you should do to lose weight, why you should lose weight, and tries to get you to do it. This is where your willpower is. It's your prefrontal cortex. It's about 10% of your brain. The rest of your brain, we can refer to as your subconscious mind. And this is the part of your brain that runs all your habitual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and is truly in control of your weight. And so, what you've been doing up until now is trying to use your conscious mind to fight against your subconscious programming. You want to eat the cookies, you want to eat the pizza, the ice cream, you want to do those things. But then when you're on a diet, you say, no, we're not going to do those things. And your ability to lose weight basically comes down to how long and effectively can you say no to your subconscious mind? How long can you fight it for? And for most people, it's a couple days, a couple weeks, occasionally a couple months. And so the alternative to this is to focus on reprogramming your subconscious mind so that you naturally and automatically start to crave and desire the foods that give you the weight and the body that you want, so that you no longer have to fight against your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind naturally wants you to do the things that keep you at your goal weight. And so obviously in theory, this makes a lot more sense, but you probably never thought this way. So it all comes down to really going to the source of the control, which is your subconscious mind, and programming it the way you want it to work. And this is easier than it seems, because your subconscious mind doesn't want you to be unhealthy. It doesn't want to be overweight. It just associates pleasure to the foods that are making you overweight right now. And you can change that up. And so I'm not going to go into how to do that right now, because again, this is a short little video, but what I would suggest if you want to learn how to do this is to go to Program Yourself, then get the free hypnosis session, watch the video I made for you, 3 Steps to Master Your Weight, because I go in more depth about how to program your subconscious mind. But this is really just to point out that if you've been struggling to lose weight, it is because your strategy is completely wrong right from the beginning. Trying to fight against your subconscious mind is a losing battle ultimately. And what I'm trying to say to you is that your weight struggles are not because you don't have enough willpower. It's because you've had the wrong strategy. And as you start to focus on reprogramming your subconscious mind to do the things you want it to do, all of a sudden the entire process of weight loss changes for you. And you're going to find that it's way easier to get the results you want when you take this approach. So again, this is kind of a teaser for it. Go watch the rest of the training that I give you. It's free to go deeper into how to do this, but it's a much more effective approach. And again, if you're sitting here as someone who has been trying to fight against yourself for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and it hasn't worked, I want you to realize there's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with your strategy. And as you change up that strategy, you're going to start to get better results. So I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope it helps. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. We'll get to them. Any questions you ask are fine. There's no dumb questions, right? Is that true? I always wrestle with that. What's up, Jody? Such a beautiful day walking and getting my gym fix. That's awesome. It is a beautiful day. The sun literally just came out here. It was kind of like low key raining. And now it's beautiful. So yeah, I agree. And Jody, we live in a similar part of the country here, but one point I want to make, and I've made this point with Jody before, is that, well, there's always challenges, but let's just say you live in New England. The winter is going to be a more challenging time usually than the spring and summer and fall even, okay? Weather does, for most people, impact our weight because it impacts our eating and our moods, okay? So, Jody just kind of reminded me that even when you're thinking about weight mastery, we have to get out of the mindset of all or nothing, because so much of your success is really less about when you're eating perfectly and much more about what you're doing when you're not eating perfectly, and being able to ride out and survive challenging times is really the more important part of your process than how perfect you are with cutting carbs out or sugar or whatever your strategy is that you do for a couple days or weeks. And so, yeah, it just reminded me that because as the weather starts to improve, as the flowers start to bloom, the grass comes out, it's a lot easier. You just feel more. Now that brings its own challenges too. So changing weather definitely can impact us. But yeah, I know Jody kind of wrote out some tough times. And January is hard. January in New England is a hard time to stay motivated because it's just shitty out. It's dark, it's cold, it's slippery. So things get easier as the weather improves for sure. Yeah. Yomara, hola. I took Spanish. I took Spanish for 4 years in school. You may not know it. Actually, I took it for 5 years, but never really got very fluent in it, I will say. What's up, Connie? How's it going? Yeah, Heather, it was great meeting you in person last night. That was great. I hope you enjoyed that call. And yeah, if you can make it on the Thursday call, I know you might be working, but it was great getting to talk to you. I love doing those coaching calls because, again, the program's great. So you're in good hands there. But again, when I can coach people and actually work one-on-one with them in the group setting, I can move you along much further. So yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you, and welcome to the program. I think you're going to do well with it. What's up, Erica? Back from Arizona. Never let my dad get me down and lost 4 pounds while there. Look at you. Great job, Erica. What an accomplishment. That's a real challenge. When we travel's a legit challenge. We get into a different mindset when we're traveling. Especially you going to a place that's can be triggering, around people that can be triggering. And so the fact that you managed it so well and dropped a couple pounds is very, very impressive. Great job, Erica. It's great when things like that happen too. It's things like that. It's not just traveling. So for Erica, it's personal. When you get around people that in an extended period of time that sometimes kind of trigger you to overeat for whatever reason, when you actually are able to go into that situation and thrive, it changes a lot of thinking in our head. It opens up new possibilities. It's a new level in a sense, because that's kind of like your biggest challenge or one of them. And so the fact that you were able to thrive through that really is like, oh, if I could do that, I can do this in a lot of situations. So great job, Erica. So you want to pay attention to that. How'd you do it? Again, there's a lot of lessons, I bet, from how you thrived in Arizona in that environment. So super job. That's great. And great job dropping some more weight. So that's wonderful. Hey, I've been listening to your weight loss hypnosis the last couple of days. Great. That's good. I hope it's helping you out. Again, when it comes to hypnosis, I want to make clear, because I think hypnosis, I would say one kind of challenge of hypnosis in the mainstream in terms of like hypnosis sessions is that sometimes it's overstated. I think people overstate what hypnosis can do. In some things, hypnosis is literally miraculous. When it comes to like phobias, hypnosis is miraculous, like miracles. I've removed 30, 40 year phobias in like 5 minutes, using hypnosis. So it's miraculous. When it comes to weight is just a bigger thing. And so weight is not just a mindset thing. So this is what I try to make this clear, that hypnosis is a great supplement to mastering your weight. But I do not believe that in and of itself, it's going to do the work. I just do not. Simply because you need to learn new skills. You need to have new strategies that you're going to bring to the situation. You right now in your head, most people don't, not in this environment. If I put you in a natural environment, that's a different story. But you living in America with a food abundance and all the food that we're surrounded by, the fast food, the junk food, the hyperpalatable food, it's not just a mindset thing. You really also have to have strategies too. So the hypnosis, I want you to experience it. I want you to notice how you're more relaxed, how you calm down, and how it does impact your eating and your thinking for a little while afterwards. And I want you to realize that, because where hypnosis really shines is when you are getting consistent hypnosis sessions that are different, because the same hypnosis session over time, I have noticed, tends to be less effective, because you go into a less of a hypnotic state because you know the session so well. Yeah, I always joke. I mean, you'll hear, oh, this is where the hypnotist takes a deep breath. Oh, this is where they say the word weird, or you know what I mean? And you're not even in hypnosis. you're very conscious listening to it. And so that happens. This is why my program, it's an 8-week program, and each day it's a different hypnosis session. It's only 5 minutes too. That's a key part as well. But each session is different. And that's very important, I think, because every session is fresh and you're never getting, used to it and bored with it. So again, enjoy that session, but also realize there are limitations to hypnosis in my experience, but enjoy it and notice some of the benefits of it because it is a wonderful supplement to the process. Connie says, I've always tracked my food and don't mind doing it, but started also tracking my hunger level. Wow. So much good info. Now I understand how to revisit and optimize my eating blueprint. Connie, I love hearing that. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's learning and growing throughout this process. The biggest mistake dieters make is that they know what to do and they just need to get themselves to do it. Most dieters don't approach their weight loss as like a learning process, something where they're growing and evolving and learning. And, they're not thinking it that way. They're thinking, okay, I'm just gonna be the same person. I'm just going to act different. And it's such a weird way to think. So that's such a big deal, Connie, that little shift, and Connie's a smart person who certainly knows about weight loss. I mean, she's lost 100 pounds 2 times. So she's been, listening to me for a while and she knows this stuff, but sometimes this is why consistency is so important. Persistence, resilience is so important because when we're learning things, one aspect of learning is the time frame. Think about anything you've learned in your life. Even with the best teacher on the planet, the best system on the planet, there is a time component to learning. And so we can get access to all the information even, but our brain has to process it over time in different ways. So for Connie to all of a sudden have that distinction, tracking calories is one thing, but tracking your hunger it's a game changer and people aren't doing it. I tell you, it's just dawning on me the last couple months, the eating blueprint in the program, where I've always put it as an aside almost. I have thought of the eating blueprint as like a third place thing compared to the mindset and the lifestyle pieces and the programming your mind being crucial. And so what I've come to realize is the blueprint is the whole game, and the mindset piece. And so it's just, I don't know, it hasn't never dawned on me, but part of the program yourself then eating blueprint is structuring your eating, but it's not based around just the calories you're consuming. Certainly that's important, no doubt, but it's really based more around how hungry are you and how satisfied are you? And what it does is it starts to give you the ability to see when you eat this, how long does it satisfy me for? And so what you're really measuring is not just the calories, because if you think about it, most dieters are disassociating and they're just like measuring calories. Because if I eat these calories, I'll lose weight. But what they're not thinking is, if I eat this, how does it affect my hunger? A lot of people are not paying attention to their hunger. And a lot of dieters on a deeper level subconsciously want to be hungry because they associate the hungrier I am, the faster I'll lose the weight. And while that may be true for short periods of time, it won't be true long periods of time because eventually your hunger is always going to win. When you are hungry, you are going to eat. And there's no question about that. So it's important that you realize that when you start to track your hunger, that's the first step to making this process easy. So I sit in front of you able to live at my goal weight because I eat a certain way consistently. And I'm able to eat a certain way consistently because the way I eat keeps me in a satisfied hunger state all day long. I wake up and get myself satisfied and I surf that satisfied hunger level all day long. As you can imagine, when your hunger is at a comfortable level, it's way easier to eat right. So great job, Connie. That is a big deal. And once you kind of unlock that awareness, it changes everything because you're going to start to see the whole process differently and in a beneficial way. So that is a great job. And great job sticking with it, Aaron. Oh man, I'm sorry, Aaron. The Key and Peele, I almost feel bad for you. I know you must hear it. The Aaron, I just can't. I wish I didn't do it, but I that's what I see. Weight loss is about consistency. Absolutely. When I'm eating, I'm aware of when I'm full or satisfied before I just ate until I stopped. Absolutely. That's absolutely true. You need consistency. Consistency is the most important thing. And, and in the program, there's one of the mantras, the daily mantras is consistency over intensity. Because consistency is more important than intensity. And most dieters are valuing intensity over consistency because you just want to be intense and lose the weight quickly. But what ends up happening is you do intense things that you can only do for a little while. The more intense you are, the harder it is to be consistent. I'll take consistency every day of the week. Don't get me wrong, there's time and a place for intensity too, but I will value, and I do value, consistency way more. I think it's important. And the awareness as well. Awareness is really a crucial piece of the puzzle. And again, dieters don't think, most dieters don't think in terms of awareness. They think, again, I'm aware of everything. I know everything I'm doing. I just need to change it. And so, it ain't true. You're not as aware as you think. And so developing your awareness is a crucial piece of the weight mastery puzzle as well. So I agree with you, Aaron. Connie says, I've been eating what I always would have deemed too much for breakfast and losing weight because I'm not chasing the full feeling. Yeah, Connie, and I'm glad you said that. I was really thinking about that because I hear that so often with people when they start the program. They'll be like, well, if I eat breakfast, then I'm going to overeat all day long. And it's like, well, what's your evidence of that? And maybe they tried eating breakfast 2-3 times and then ate all day. So sometimes you got to give your new behaviors a little bit of time to take root, but what I will say that you're really saying, Connie, as well, is that I've been eating what I always would have deemed too much. Okay. And I want to speak to that for a second. This kind of goes on what I was just saying as well, that if you've been trying to lose weight for a long time and it hasn't worked, you gotta assume what you have been deeming is inaccurate. Again, this is one of the hardest things for humans to do because we tend to just believe what we believe is accurate. We don't really question it. But if you've been struggling to lose weight, you've got to at least sometimes say, maybe what I think and what I assume is wrong. Maybe how I've been going about this isn't accurate. It's a very clarifying belief to have because our brain tends to kind of justify a lot of the dumb shit we do. And so it's great that you realize that, because that I could tell you, like, from being 50 pounds heavier to being where I'm at now and living here, the big difference that brought me from being overweight to living as a thin and healthy person is really, it's a path of distinctions that I made. Things I thought were one way, it turned out they were the opposite. It's just been a steady stream of, oh, I thought that was wrong. It's actually this. Oh, I thought that's wrong. It's actually this way. And so a lot of my beliefs that made me overweight, they had to change. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is why if you please never say the words, I know what I got to do. I just got to get myself to do it. You fucking don't know what to do. If you knew how to be thin and healthy, you'd be thin and healthy, right? It's real simple. And if you're not thin and healthy, or you're not weighing what you want to weigh, it's literally because you don't know how to do it. Knowing some vague ass thing of like, oh, I'll eat 200 calories, I'll stop eating sugar, I'll count my points. Just like one vague tactic is not going to change shit. It's really not. Even if you stick with keto or whatever your one tactic is, if you actually stuck with it long term, that path will have a bunch of distinctions you make along the way. So start the process by looking for distinctions, things I thought were true that aren't. That's the main thing. There's some quote on that. Let me see if I can look it up. Let me see. I remember like 2 words of it. See if it's this. Oh, there it is, right there. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. There it is, right? That's the quote. I don't know who said it, but it ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. And you as a dieter, yeah, pretty much most of what you think about weight loss just ain't so. It's not true because your head's been filled with rocks by the diet industry. And you are not, you're not even in the game. You're not even in the weight mastery game. You're in the quick weight loss game, and you wonder why you're struggling. And I'm telling you, it's because the strategy that you're following, the way you think about it, is completely ass backwards. Completely. And so I'm telling you, the path to getting on the right path is to realize that a lot of things I think aren't accurate. And that becomes a big part of the process, is realizing your own bullshit that you're thinking. And it makes it fun. I don't know. I was saying, like, it's kind of like a lot of this process is you're becoming Sherlock Holmes and figuring out the dumb shit you say to yourself or believe that's not true and fixing it. And that's what makes the path sustainable and long-term. So again, great job, Connie. And great job not chasing the full feeling. That full feeling is another huge part of weight mastery versus dieters, is that as an American, especially, you're conditioned since birth to think that the finish line is when you're stuffed full. And it's not. It can't be. Again, feeling stuffed full really isn't even that pleasant. And when you start to realize that what feels better is to feel satisfied, to feel nourished, it's a different. It's a reframing in your mind. It's a different goal that you're getting to that says, okay, we've finished eating. So again, huge realization, Connie. You should write that one down, because that's one you'll want to remember and remind yourself of regularly. Because the more you remember that it's not about feeling full, feeling stuffed, it's about feeling nourished. That distinction alone is enormous. So enormous. I'm going to write it down and make a video on it. Yeah, that's a huge distinction and a huge shift in what you're aiming at. It's a great job. Aaron says insulin affects hunger. Steady blood sugar has been so effective for me personally. Yeah, again, Aaron dropping bombs. Absolutely, folks. And a lot of I always call it the endless hunger. And the endless hunger a lot of times is when you're eating sugar and flour and processed foods. These foods are absorbed very quickly, because the faster you absorb something, what makes things addictive is the distance between when you take the substance and when you get the effects of it. And so this is why crack is way more addictive than snorting cocaine, because snorting cocaine's a powder and it has to go through your nasal tissues and into your body. But when you smoke it, it goes into your lungs and you instantly get the effect. So it's way more addictive. So one of the reasons why sugar and flour and they make processed foods the way they do is because it's almost pre-digested, if you think about it. They've taken away a lot of the outer shells of it and the fiber of it so that it's absorbed really fast. And what happens is it spikes your blood sugar very quickly, unnaturally so. It's very difficult to spike your blood sugar in the natural world eating natural foods. It really is. It's an unnatural thing to do it. So, hold on a second. I just got to answer something real quick. So once you start realizing that, it's really helpful to understand that, because most likely I've dealt with this. I think everyone deals with this endless hunger, right? You eat a bunch of food and then you're hungry right after. You just keep eating. And a big part of that is the insulin spikes and then crashes. Okay. And the glucose crashes as well. So more specifically. So when you eat flour, sugar, processed foods, a lot of times what happens, they're quickly absorbed into your blood sugar levels spike, right? Quickly absorb it. And then your insulin clears that out. And your body's not good at measuring how much insulin to release, because it's not a natural thing. We didn't evolve with glucose spikes as a natural, normal thing. And so it's this new thing we deal with the last 100 years with the foods we're surrounded by. And so a lot of times what happens is we'll eat the processed food, the flour, the sugar, we spike our blood sugar, our glucose levels, and then our body over releases insulin, and then it crashes the glucose levels. And guess what happens? You feel tired and hungry now. And you say, oh, I got to eat again, just to repeat the whole cycle again. And it's very easy to repeat that cycle 4, 5, 6, 7 times every single day. And so it's wreaking havoc on your body. And it's wreaking havoc on your hunger and your eating. So yeah, absolutely. Insulin affects hunger. No doubt about it. And glucose spikes, they're one and the same, right? They're two sides of the coin, the glucose spikes and the insulin. Glucose and insulin, two sides of things. So yeah, spiking and crashing your glucose levels, you got to get a handle on it. And that's a big reason why, and Program Yourself Thin with the eating blueprint, we structure our eating. And it's a big part of this, because you figure out which foods for me kind of maintain that line, so I'm kind of maintaining a steady state all day, and I know how I'm doing it, and it sets me up for success, and so that's what Aaron's saying as well. Love that sharing about the full feeling. Very helpful. Yeah, I'm glad dieting, Diva. That it is, again, it's just a different goal. And we're never taught that. In America, it's just always it's the endless hunger. It's the endless consumption. It really is. And so, yeah, realizing that we're eating towards a different goal to nourish ourselves feels different. Hey, Ray Rod. Yeah, you know what I mean. I know you know what I mean. I know you have lived a life of torture the last 3 years. If you never hear another person say that to you, probably it'll be too soon, right? What's up, Mario? It's like me. I'm a hypnotist. You know how many times I've heard you're not gonna make me cluck like a chicken? I don't. We can't stop it, right? You know what I mean? Like you just certain things are linked together. So it is what it is. What's up, Heather? Finally did the read rehearsal with a new mindset and got that dopamine hit and got excited. Oh, super. I'm super glad, Heather. Because once you unlock that's my biggest challenge in the program is explaining the reader rehearsal technique in the best way possible, which is why I'm actually about to do, I'll probably tomorrow, I'm going to record a new version of it as well. I'm always updating the programs. I'm always refining things, but the reader rehearsal is front and center with that. That's the core technique of the program yourself then system. And I'm really glad you liked it because it's a fun thing to do. You know what I mean? It's fun to do the reader rehearsal. And if it doesn't feel fun, it's probably because you're not doing it right. And it's because I didn't explain it to you right. So again, anyone in the program, if you ever have questions, you actually have Tuesdays when we do our live calls and then the lives, anyone in my program, even if you're not getting the coaching, you get on these lives, I'll coach you right through the lives, which is one of my favorite things to do. I love these lives because I can interact with people that aren't, able to get in the coaching group. So make sure you do that. You're a smart man. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I'm smart with weight mastery. I will say that. I don't know, not smart with everything for sure, but when it comes to weight mastery, I would say I know my stuff. Mario says, used to genuinely believe I know everything about weight loss and just need to get myself to do it for years and years and years until I finally realized I don't know anything. Yes. And that's a great place to be. It really is. There's nothing worse in the world than thinking you know everything. You just need to get yourself to do it because it's like painting yourself into a corner. It's going down a dead end street. There's nowhere to go from there, when you think you know everything. And so it's, I don't know. It's funny. I will say, I don't really get that much anymore when people join the program, but I maybe originally I got more of that, people telling me, oh, I know what I got to do. And it's like, listen, you wouldn't be working with me if you knew what to do, And so it is a wonderful feeling to say, you know what? I kind of do know a lot, but I'm missing the key things. And as soon as you do that, I think, again, there's a part of our brain, it's called priming. And so how we think of weight loss, so if you think you know everything, you just need to get yourself to do it. The way you look at the process is you're just waiting for some magical motivation. I just got to get myself to do it is really code for, I'm just waiting for myself to get fired up at some point. You see, and there's nowhere to really go with it. But once you realize that, I don't think I do know a lot. And that's what I try to get on here with these podcasts is to start articulating more granular levels of weight loss and weight mastery so that you can start to say, oh, I don't know how to get myself motivated. Not really. I don't know how to deal with my self-image, my identity. I never even thought of that. Oh, I don't really know how to deal with my habits strategically, neuroscientifically based way. Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't really know how to deal with my emotions. I know I'm emotionally eating, but I don't know how to deal with it. Oh, I don't know how to think like a thin, healthy person. Oh, I don't know how to maintain. Oh, I don't have a lifestyle that supports my ways. Oh, I don't structure my eating. So someone who's been trying to lose weight for 30, 40 years and is struggling, knows everything. They listen to one podcast like, oh, I don't know how to do any of that shit. Yeah, because you don't know weight mastery, but that's a glorious day because now you could fix it. And there's nothing worse than feeling like, because that's like, I'll tell you that another equivalent to like, oh, I know what I got to do. I just got to get myself to do it is no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. Both of those are very powerless beliefs at the end of the day, in my opinion, because A, they're not accurate. And B, if you believe those things, you have very little control. And so once you realize I don't know, magic words, because now you can learn those things. And that's what I do in my program is I teach people things that you've never learned. And once you learn them, it's not rocket science. It's just you've never learned the granular details of how to master your weight. You've been, again, your head's been filled with rocks by the diet industry. And the diet industry doesn't want you to lose weight because why? Because the diet industry is owned by the food industry. Weight Watchers is owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company owns Carvel Ice Cream and Cinnabon. Slim Fast owned by the same company as Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. These companies don't want you to lose weight and eat less of their foods. They want to get your money when you want to lose weight, and then they want to condition you to go back to eating the way you always did anyways. So you've never really had a fair chance at mastering your weight, which is why I do this for free, because you deserve that chance. I know you think about it all the time, and the reason you're struggling is because you haven't had a good strategy put in front of you. Wally says, I enjoy listening to your podcast. It's very motivating. Glad I could join you live today. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad. Thanks for listening to the podcast. The podcast is there. And by the way, I always have to remind people of this, but if you listen to the podcast regularly, make sure that you take a little bit of time, go to Program Yourself then, or go to my bio, get the hypnosis session and watch the video I made for you. And once you sign up on that email list, I email you positive, encouraging, supportive things every day. And I give you access to a PYT Spark program for free. Okay. So again, I am here to help you. This is a mission for me. So thanks for listening, but make sure you also get all the free stuff I give you as well, because there's a lot of power in that. And that stuff's just set up more systematically. When I get on the podcast, and I love doing the podcast, but I'm kind of bebopping all over the place. And so the video I made for you is very, we kind of start at one spot and go down. It's so funny. I get, sometimes TikTok gives me restrictions. I don't even know if we'll have TikTok next year at this time. That's a weird thing, right? I have to move over to another platform or something. It says, if I fast until dinner, I'm doomed to eat way too much for dinner. Aaron, geez, Aaron, we got the same brain. I'm the same way. Like that's, and by the way, that's the number one dieter strategy I see, is that dieters try and eat as little as possible. Because right, our hunger starts down here. When we first wake up, our hunger's at its lowest point, our willpower is at its highest point. So most dieters say, oh, screw it, I'm not gonna eat breakfast. Oh, I'm not gonna eat lunch. And now we get to 2 o'clock, your hunger's up here and your willpower is down here. And now the wheels come off the bus, right? And most dieters' problems are afternoon and evening eating. So it's important to manage your hunger as opposed to trying to reduce calories as low as you possibly can. So I think that's a brilliant observation, Aaron. I did it keto for 2.5 years straight. It's not the cure for everything. That's crazy. You did keto for 2.5 years straight. That's a long time. And I noticed the word did as in the past tense. So I assume you're not doing keto now, which is part of the process too. That's I know I joke. I'm pretty negative on keto, not because you won't lose weight in the short term, but simply because no one sticks with a keto plan long-term. That's the big secret of keto. It's not really a secret. It's right there in the open, but why do something that you have very little chance of actually sticking with? It makes no sense. And yet it's the most popular diet. That intermittent fasting are the 2 most popular diets right now in America. So that's how you know people have no clue how to lose weight, when keto is the number 1 diet in America. It's the stupidest diet. So anyways, he says, have you read Eat to Beat Your Diet by Dr. William Lee? I have not, but I will write that down and I will read it, because I like anything that's talking about beating a diet and not dieting, if that's what it's about. Eat to Beat Your Diet. Yeah, I'll check that out. Connie says, not to mention finally learning how to relax for the first time in my life. Yeah, right. That's what I mean. And that brings another good point, is that, your weight mastery is not a one tactic thing. So again, with your diets, it's always a one thing. And really, it's important that you have a comprehensive, holistic strategy to master your weight. And so I talk a lot about the weight mastery pyramid: mindset, lifestyle, eating. And it's important to go at all 3 of these things, and strategically. And so relaxation is really, really important. You can imagine sleep, relaxation, hydration, nourishment. These are really important pieces of the puzzle. And a lot of people just ignore that stuff because most dieters live in a willpower model that it doesn't matter how I sleep, doesn't matter how hungry I am, doesn't matter how stressed I am, doesn't matter what a bad mood I am. I'm going to eat right. I'm just going to no carbs. I'm going to eat this way. And it's like, what I don't understand, again, this is the shocking part to me, is the lack of awareness, because dieters will do the same stupid plan that hasn't worked for them for 30 years, and they'll start it again on Monday as if it's the first time they've ever done it. That's the weird part. So you need to bring more to the process. A diet, I always joke, like a diet is like bringing a stick to a bazooka fight. A diet is not up to the task of mastering your weight. You're not learning enough information in a diet to ever even be within 1,000 miles of mastering your weight. So, yeah, Lolly says, and all the benefits of eating nutritious food. Well, I love that because I'm a huge fan of eating nutritious food, eating nourishing food. And it's like so obvious. This is why you got to watch out for the diets, because the diets have conditioned you to think in terms of calories. And yes, calories are important, but they're always thinking specifically calories because they're trying to separate calories from nutrition. Because again, all the big diets are owned by big food companies. So they don't want you to start looking at your weight loss and associating with eating healthier. They want to separate that and disassociate nutrition from calories. So that you're like, well, shit, because when we get the dipshit who goes and eats at McDonald's for a year and loses 50 pounds. And so now I could eat McDonald's and lose weight. Yeah, you could, but you won't. That person had they had something they wanted to prove. You go and eat McDonald's, you're going to go and eat too much and not lose weight is most likely what's going to happen. So nourishing yourself is really, I think, the most important piece of structuring your eating in a way where you're able to actually keep it your goal weight for the rest of your life, you know? Yeah. So, oops. Come on. Sometimes the screen gets a little funny. Let's see. What's up, Astrid? On the bike again. Nice job, Astrid. That's why GLP-1 are effective. It slows down digestion. Aaron, what the hell? This guy's saying everything. This is great. Yeah, absolutely, folks. Right. And so what Aaron's talking about here is natural Ozempic, right? What's Ozempic do? It increases your GLP-1 hormone, which slows down digestion and increases satiety. So you may not eat so much. Now, because it's unnatural, you'll also feel like you're going to throw up and be nauseous. But the natural way to increase GLP-1 hormone, eat more fiber, eat more natural whole foods, because those foods naturally have a slower, you absorb them slower, so they stay in your digestive tract longer and increase GLP-1 hormone. I always say, like, it's like it literally, I've never been on Ozempic, but it felt like Ozempic, like, from what I hear, when I started adding a giant salad every day for lunch, Monday through Thursday. And I like doubled my fiber intake, and I could not believe how full I felt. So yeah, if you're thinking about Ozempic, but you don't want to take it, just start eating more fiber, start eating more fruits, vegetables, greens, and beans. And I think you'll be shocked at what happens to you. Carrie says, how do you know you are truly hungry? That's such a great question that a lot of people in America have no clue. Like, you've never really felt hunger. Like, literally, there's people in their entire lives have never really felt hunger. And so a lot of times what people think is hunger is really anxiety that they might be hungry. You know what I mean? That they're not actually hungry yet. They're just anxious that they might be hungry. Because again, we live in a food abundant environment. Thank God. I'll take that all day long. But that food abundant environment kind of calibrates our hunger level like very high. So if we even get close to being hungry, we freak out. So I will say, well, intermittent fasting was good for that. And even some of the long-term fasts I did, I didn't enjoy doing it. I don't do them now, but I will say one of the positives I took out of that is I got to experience real, genuine hunger. And that was very interesting. Being a raw foodist, I experienced real, genuine hunger. And so, yeah, how do you know you're truly hungry? I guess one simple way to do it is, when you think you're hungry, you could say, okay, well, if I'm hungry, I'll have an apple, a banana, a salad, something natural and whole. And if your brain and body go, I don't want that, you're probably not hungry. You're just bored or emotional. So that's kind of a simple, quick way to go about that. And when you're truly hungry, a salad sounds amazing. When you're really genuinely hungry, fruit sounds amazing. You'll take it. So that's kind of a good litmus test that you can use. I'm really excited to hear the new redo rehearsal technique recording. Yeah, it's going to be good, Connie, because again, well, Connie, you show up for all the training, so it'll be kind of it'll be all the stuff we talked about, just hopefully more succinct. But yeah, it'll be that. But it'll be good having a succinct, and that's funny to hear. Yeah, you were using the recording the whole time. So I will make a point of saying that is really just a guide in the beginning, and that ultimately you want to do that. You want to run that process. So I'm excited for you to start running that process, because I think you're going to be amazed at the effect that has on you. Deanna says, I struggle to have other genuine motivations for weight loss other than to look better. Great. I'm glad you said that. You're not alone. Okay. Most people don't even know how to motivate that. Most people that want to lose weight aren't even motivated to lose weight. I would say for the vast majority of people that want to lose weight, your first hurdle is you got to learn how to motivate yourself. You don't know how to motivate yourself, and you're not motivated. Let me put it real bluntly. You don't really want to lose weight, which is why it's not happening. That's the truth for most people I've seen. And so how do you get to be truly motivated? Well, you got to find genuine motivation. How do you do that? Well, I'll give you the shortcut. Now, Deanna, what I will tell you first off is I hope you've opted in. So tell me that you have opted in, gotten the hypnosis session, and you're on my email list. Because if you're on my email list, if you haven't gotten it yet, I got the Spark program, and part of the Spark program is the 15-minute motivation challenge. And so that will absolutely help you get more motivated. So make sure that you get on that list. And if you haven't gotten that training yet, you can shoot me a message. I'll shoot you a link to it. That being said, yeah, a lot of people, what you have to understand, your whole life, you have been conditioned by the diet industry to think about weight loss motivation in terms of wanting to look better, because every weight loss ad you've seen has been the before and after picture. So it conditions you to think about weight loss superficially. I want to look better, and want to look better is fine, but it's not enough for the average person. And if you don't believe me, why do you think you haven't gotten the results you want? It's not because you can't do it. It's because you haven't wanted to do it enough at the core. You also are lacking strategy and knowledge too, but it's primarily because you don't really want to do it. So how do we get more motivated? Well, the motivation I like to point to, and I think the most powerful motivations in life come from interfacing with our mortality. So not the most pleasant thing, but it's a kick in the gut. And so I would suggest to you that what you consistently put into your mouth and how you're living your life will most likely have the biggest impact on how long you are alive for and your quality of life during those years. And so when you start thinking about your weight in terms of life and death, I hope it starts to motivate you more. And it doesn't take a lot of thinking, because I think you realize on some level that, yeah, what I'm consistently eating is absolutely going to impact my lifespan, most likely. And so I think that's the starting point to getting more genuine motivation, because, yeah, wanting to look better is an extrinsic motivator. It's the weakest form of motivation. That's why you're not getting the results you want. At the core, you're not truly motivated. And so when you upgrade the importance, when you give your weight loss more meaning, I mean, I can't tell you the number of people, they'll be in their 50s or 60s, their grandparents, they've been married for 30 years and great relationships. And it's like, how motivated do you think you are to look better? Like, most people don't really give a shit. We haven't evolved to want to look better. Do you understand? We didn't evolve in an environment where there was mirrors and pictures and scales. We don't really have an intuitive sense of how we look. We've adopted it because we live in a modern culture and it becomes more important, but intrinsically, how you look is not really that motivating. But how long you live, your survival instinct, your quality of life while you're alive, those are intrinsic. So it's a reframing of the process. And again, this is part of the dieting bullshit they conditioned you with. They've minimized how you think of weight loss. You just think, oh, I just want to look better. But then, like, who gives a shit if I look better? I joke about this with I remember for years I was like, oh, I want to have a six pack, but I never made it happen. And I was like, well, it's weird, because I'm like, I'm a complete master of my lifestyle and eating, and yet I'm not getting a six pack. And then I realized, I'm like, because I don't give a shit. I'm a married guy, my shirt out 5 hours a year. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to put all that work into, I don't care. That was a very profound moment to me. And I think a lot of people walking around that want to lose weight, that are trying to motivate themselves by wanting to look better, don't really give a shit about how they look. Not really. I mean, of course we all want to look better, but you don't really care. And I think that's true. And I think when you start to reframe this process, not just of looking better, but of actually living longer and really stepping in. And I put a video up, and some dipshit's like, oh, because I was talking about this, like really thinking about how long you're going to live. And like, oh, because you get this sometimes. Oh, who cares? I don't want to live those years. Those are the worst years. And it's like, I guess you've never been around someone who's a healthier older person. Because I have been around people 80s, 90s that are healthy, living a great quality of life. And I think, that's a stupid fucking way of thinking, in my opinion. This idea like, oh, those are the worst years. Who cares? Yeah, well, talk to me when you're 85 and let me know if you want to kick it. If you just want to just die. And it's not just dying anyways. It's your quality of life during those years and leading up to it. So anyways, that's kind of a starting point to where I take you in the motivation challenge. So make sure you sign up for that. It's free. I give it to you and it'll help you more. Sinmar, how do you break a sugar addiction? I don't think you really break a sugar addiction as so much as you manage it. Meaning, how would you break a sugar addiction? Well, you'd stop eating sugar. I don't think you want to stop eating sugar completely. And I don't think you're going to stop eating sugar completely. I find the few people I've met in life, and I have met people that have written books on sugar addiction, they're always struggling with it. And so I have found What seems to work a lot better is when you manage it. It seems a lot more balanced. And that's what separates what I'm saying. So you may not agree with that. Fine. But I believe you're mastering your weight is really managed. It's a managed addiction. We're all addicted to food. And so it's not about completely getting rid of sugar. I think you'll be much more successful when you manage the sugar. I treat sugar like I treat alcohol. And so alcohol, I know it's not the healthiest thing for me, but I like it in its place. And so again, that's what makes me a little different. So I know some people are black and white with that. I live in the gray area. And so I don't want to be the healthiest person I can be. So I just say, oh, you want to live as long as you can. Well, I do want to live as long as I can relatively. I like, it's a balance. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a balance of saying, what's my quality of life want to be? What do I want my health, my weight, all these things to be? And then what do I want to enjoy? So would I be healthier drinking no alcohol? Absolutely. But I don't want to. I like drinking a little bit of alcohol and I moderate it. So I don't think it's really doing that much damage to me. So I'm in that sweet spot, or what I believe is a sweet spot. I do the same thing with sugar. I really don't eat much sugar Monday through Friday afternoon. And then Friday through Sunday, I eat sugar. I don't go crazy with it, but I enjoy the things I eat that have sugar in it. And I think now you say, oh, I can never do that. If I eat sugar, I eat all the sugar. Well, yeah, but you've never tried moderating it. And if you haven't had real strategies anyways. I think when you are really congruent in the goal you want to achieve, it's amazing how much power you can bring to the situation. And I think what most people are trying to do with the sugar is they'll say, like, how do I break a sugar addiction? And in the back of their mind, like, I'm gonna have to stop eating sugar completely. And now their goal is not congruent because part of them wants to stop eating sugar and part of them wants to keep eating sugar. And I think that's something you're always gonna have to recognize. Do you really want to go the rest of your life with never eating sugar? Do you? And I know you don't. So the next best thing, the best thing you could probably set for yourself as a goal is, I want to eat sugar, but I want to eat it more moderately. Now all of a sudden you can feel you don't have these two parts of you. Every part of you can get behind the part of like, yeah, I do really want to eat sugar more moderately. I enjoy eating it sometimes, but I don't want to overdo it. And that's again, I'm not saying it's just because you say that doesn't mean you can just do it, but I'm saying now you've got a firm foundation to build on. Because I think the idea like, oh, I got to stop eating sugar completely. I don't think that's a firm foundation. I don't think so. And if you think it is, let me know how you're doing next week after a week of not eating any sugar and then anticipating you're never going to eat sugar again. I think you're going to find it's a very wobbly foundation. And so I think I want to set things on a firm foundation and then I build on it from there. So that's kind of my suggestion. It's truly amazing how you make each of us feel supported through this journey. Well, thank you, Connie. I will say, I think that's a gift of mine. I would agree. And again, it's a somewhat of a gift and it's a lot of experience and practice. I've been doing, I always say this, like, this is what sets me apart is I have walked my own path with this. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not all the typical things in the weight loss industry, because all the things that are typical in the weight loss industry is someone telling you what to do. It's always someone telling you what to do, what to eat, how to exercise. And there's almost no one that's working with you to actually get yourself to do it. And that's the path I've been walking. And I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions. I've been doing this for 20 years, 30 years personally. I mean, shit, you guys see me now. I do this literally every single day, an hour, 2 hours a day, just to this. And then I'm outside here, I'm coaching 3, 4, 5 hours. I'm working on training. I mean, this is my life. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you saying that. And that's my goal. So that makes me very happy to hear. Has anyone ever told you they don't know what being hungry feels like? Yeah, of course. That's very common, Carrie. That's not a silly question at all. Most Americans don't even know what hunger is. They really don't, because what they know is they conflate the fear of being hungry with hunger. And very few Americans truly know what real, genuine hunger feels like. And so it's very helpful to know that, because what you think is real hunger is really usually just boredom and anxiety that you might be hungry. So that's not unusual at all, Carrie. I've heard that many, 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 many times. All day removals. How's it going? Hi, I'm on a diet now since 2 weeks, but scared to weigh myself. Any help? What diet you on? Scared to weigh yourself. So that's what I mean. Like I can't believe you're on a diet. You listen to me all the time. I can't believe you're on a diet. But again, sometimes we got to go. We need to hear the message multiple times, but yeah, what diet you doing all day? And Yeah, the fear of weighing yourself, right? It's the classic diet thing, right? Because you did the diet great, and what are you doing? Because you're conditional is what's happening. You're conditional. You're like, okay, I'll do the diet as long as I lose the weight. But now you're worried in the beginning that I'm not going to lose the weight, and if you step on that scale after 2 weeks and the weight loss isn't there, you're going to just quit, right? Because you're conditional. As long as I lose weight, I'll do this stupid diet. But if I don't lose weight, I'm done. I'm done with it. That attitude isn't going to give you success with anything, and weight's included. So there's my help. Because you're not even taking it serious. That's why you're scared to step on the scale, because it's conditional. You're scared to step on the scale because you're scared there's gonna be no weight loss, then you're gonna quit. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. You already know it. You've done this tens of hundreds of times probably. So yeah, you're just repeating the exact same cycle you keep doing. So what do you think's gonna happen? There's your help. Stop doing the same shit that hasn't worked and do something different. Because what's the alternative to that? Let me share the alternative. The alternative, first of all, is that you don't do a diet. Okay. So program yourself thin, I'll give you as an alternative, because it's a real alternative. Most diets are all the same. The tactics differs. Don't eat carbs, don't eat sugar, 1,200 calories, count your things, less fat, whatever. The specifics are different, but the core thing's the same, that you jump in on day one, you change everything. And that's what you've been doing all day, right? For 2 weeks, you've changed everything. And so you're worried to see what the scale is going to say. The mindset's broken from the start. And so with Program Yourself Thin, we're not changing everything. What we're doing is we're going to commit to the 5 minutes in the morning so we can start our day relaxed and calm, putting good stuff in our head. Then we're going to put our focus on our worst eating habit. And if you have extra energy, you can put it on your first eating habit as well. And we're going to work on optimizing those strategically. And then you're going to work on building your blueprint. And so there's really no weight loss expectations in the beginning, because those expectations are what screw you guys all up. It's like I play guitar, and it's like if I start the guitar, I'm like, oh, how's it going to take me to play these songs? 3 weeks. Okay, in 3 weeks coming, I can't play them well. Oh, fuck this. I quit. There's conditional and unconditional approaches. When you go to college, or if you did some training to learn a trade or something, that was an unconditional commitment, right? Because you go to college and you're like, oh man, I know this is going to be hard. I'm going to commit to these 2, 4, 6, 8 years of education and training so I can end up the other end as this version of myself. You don't get into a month of college and be like, holy shit, I haven't learned how to be an accountant yet. You know what I mean? Like the weight loss mindset is destructive, which is why the diet industry is implanted in your head. So if you start with a weight loss mindset, you're going to get the exact same results you've always gotten with your weight loss mindset. So let me know what diet you're doing, though. I'd love to know. Mara says, have you watched Olivia D'Andrea's video on her food addiction yet? I think I mentioned a while ago. You did, and I have it written right here. And now my desk is like, I try and keep these under control, but I got it right there. And I'm going to move that right to the top of the thing and watch that. And I will watch that. What's up, Karen? How's it going? I've seen a little bit. Yeah, I'm curious about your opinion. I will watch that too. I want to watch it, and I'll let you know next time I see you on here. Connie says, my Fitness Pal app was promoting an article yesterday about healthy eating at McDonald's. Yeah, conspiracy. Exactly. There is no eating healthy at McDonald's. Okay? It's that simple. I've noticed when I eat clean, I stay fuller longer and I feel better. Thanks for all you do. You're welcome, and thank you for saying that. It's like, I know, like, it's sometimes the hardest thing for me is, and it's like, this in your own life, things you do all the time, like your work, for example, it's like you take for granted how much you know, because you just do it day in and day out. But it's like, that's why I try to keep reminding myself, I keep talking about fiber, because you're never taught how to truly master your weight. And the only path I've seen to mastering your weight is to master your eating. And by mastering your eating, I mean eating more whole, natural foods. That's what your body has evolved over millions of years to eat. And in the last 100 years, we live in an alien world, food-wise. We've literally, it doesn't seem like it, but it's like we've been shot off to Mars. You know what I mean? We're literally in an alien environment. And we've been confused a little bit at a time between what's food and what's food stuff. And when you start eating food, it's amazing how different you feel and how much easier it is to master your weight. Easy, fucking easy. That's the word I'm using. So great job, Gene. Good job changing your eating and noticing that. Noticing is the key thing too, by the way. It's not forcing yourself to eat clean. It's eating clean and paying attention to how you feel with it. There's a huge difference there. And once you start to realize, oh shit, when I eat that, I feel satisfied the whole time. Oh shit, when I eat that, I feel really good. And then you start doing that consistently. Oh, the weight's coming off. Oh, it's been easy. And when you're eating the bullshit, it's always going to be a struggle. Now you can eat the bullshit occasionally in a strategic way, but you have to primarily be eating whole natural foods, or it's always going to be a fight. What's up, Sanja? Is occasional hunger throughout the day a sufficient indicator that we are in a calorie deficit and that something is happening? Perhaps, maybe. And it depends though, because occasional hunger throughout the day, I feel occasionally hunger throughout the day, a light level of, I always say it's like I'll notice it 11 o'clock in the morning, I'll feel a light level of hunger, but it's a light level of hunger. And I know now that it doesn't matter. But when I was first losing weight, yes, when I felt hungry, and I want to make this crystal clear, knowing I'd consumed enough during the day, I knew I ate enough during the day. I wasn't trying to starve myself in any way. I ate enough during the day. And then at night I'd feel hungry. I would tell myself that feeling is my body burning off the extra calories. So yes, I think occasional hunger, I do believe you're gonna feel, you pretty much need to feel a slight level of hunger to lose weight. Whether it's real or imagined, you're going to feel some hunger when you're losing weight because it's a different level of calorie putting in your body. Things are changing. There's going to be messages of that coming to your awareness. So yes, I think a light level of hunger is where I'd be aiming at. I think that's a nice place to be honest, even in life, right? What do we say? People that are hungry for something, right? Being a light level of hunger to me is that's where I want to live my life. Like I like how I work, how I am now. Like if before I got on a live, I went and ate a box of donuts, I wouldn't be like this. Maybe I'd be like this for a day, but you wouldn't see me consistently like this. So I like kind of living in that sweet spot of being a little bit hungry, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I feel like there's energy there. Being stuffed full is a weird thing. Being stuffed constantly is completely unnatural. Now, I'm not saying like people found you got lots of food. Sometimes you stuff yourself. Sometimes that did happen in life, but the usual, the average was that you were at least slightly hungry. I think that's a natural way to be. I think that's where your body operates best. That's what I believe anyway. So yeah, I think that's a good indicator. That's what I'd be aiming at. Slight level. I just want to make that crystal clear. Doxy Mom, how's it going? I actually do experience a bit of anxiety when I'm hungry. Is this common? Yeah, absolutely. Because you've been conditioned to be stuffed full. Everything's relative in life. And so you've been conditioned to think of like being satisfied as being super full. And so when we start to, here's a weird thing, like everything is relative. So like, even if you're eating plenty of food, but it's less than you usually used to eat, you're going to feel some anxiety about that. Our brain is a status quo machine. Okay. Your brain's biggest job in life is to predict the future. The best way to predict the future is to keep things as steady as they can be. And so this affects everything with your weight loss, even because even your self-image, you may hate being overweight and want to lose weight more than anything. That's all you think about. But on the other hand, if you've been overweight for decades and struggling with weight for decades, there's a familiarity with it. There's a weird comfort with it because you know it. And stepping into being thin and healthy is new and it's weird. So new things in whatever shape or form they take, good or bad, a lot of times can bring anxiety with them. So it's absolutely, absolutely normal that as you start changing your behavior, as you reduce your calories a bit, yes, you will feel some anxiety. And so we got to have a way to manage that. That's built into the Program Yourself Then system for those of you in the program. When you're listening to hypnosis, it's causing you to feel more relaxed so that you're able to deal with that anxiety and you're able to be more aware of when you feel anxiety so that you can deal with it as well. So that's kind of weaved right into the program. Deanna says, I love the repetition. It's so helpful. It's getting programmed slowly into my mind. Yeah, Deanna, exactly. I would say, repetition is one of the top hypnotic techniques there are. And remember, every commercial you see on TV is a hypnosis session. And think about if you watch 2 hours of network TV, think about how often you see the same exact commercial, right? Because repetition works. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So yeah, listening to the podcast repeatedly, it starts to create new neural pathways in your head, new neural networks. And yeah, it hardwires it in, it reprograms you. And then obviously in the program, we take that to a whole nother level as well. But that's exactly what's happening. And repetition is crucial part of that. Carrie says, depends on your age. I used to want to lose weight to look better. Now I'm old. I want to live longer. Yeah, absolutely. That is so fast. I'm glad you said that, Carrie, because as obvious as that may seem to a lot of us, in practice, I am the one. I have spoken with more people about weight than most people on the planet. And most of the people I've talked to in depth about weight are range in age from 45-ish to 65-ish, let's say. And then there's obviously outliers outside of that, but the majority of people I've worked with, 45 to 65. And what you're saying you would think would be true, but what happens is people have been thinking about wanting to look better as their motivation for their entire lives. And so even if they start to get 45, 50, 60, they're still trying to use that as motivation. And it's the weakest, it's always been the weakest form of motivation, but it's certainly as you get older, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And what starts to become more important is the functionality of your body, right? Because I always say this, like I'm approaching 50 here, and it's like, holy shit, folks, those of you that are over 50, I mean, how is your physical body, your knees, your hips, your mobility, your flexibility, your balance, your stamina, your strength? How the fuck is this not the main thing on your mind? I don't understand, because it's been the main thing on my mind for 30 years. And I'm like, holy shit, my body feeling different. And so now it's like job number one that I want to, as I get older, I want to stay strong and flexible and walking and all the rest of it. That's my number one. I want to live as long as I can. I want to live every second I can out of life. And while I'm here, I want to be the best version of me. That's my motivation. Let's compare that to your motivation. I want to drop 2 dress sizes. Fuck you. That's never going to work. It hasn't worked. And it's not going to. If it didn't work when you were in your 30s, how's that going to work when you're in your 60s? So again, I don't blame you for this. The diet industry's got your head twisted into knots, but you got to, there's a lot of motivation. Just scratch the surface a little bit. There's tons of real motivation right under that surface. And what it comes down to is like really your life. And I don't care when you start to get 45, 50, you start to get a glimpse of it. And then once you're 60, what the shit? I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. I honestly don't. I don't know how wanting to look better at 60 is a bigger motivator than wanting to be able to get out of bed comfortably, walk down the stairs, be able to walk, balance, feel good. I don't know, but I don't know. John says right on. Yeah, it's true, right? Ugh, it's crazy. This is exactly how I was feeling. Hunger would make me feel physical panic. Yeah, a lot of people feel physical panic. Again, it's not when you're even hungry. Listen, if you're like just not even dieting and you're eating 3,000 calories a day, you're not even anywhere near real hunger, but you think you are, because everything's relative. Hunger is really not even absolute. Everything's relative. And so if you eat regularly 3,000 calories a day, if you eat 2,500 calories, you're going to feel hungrier, but it's not real hunger. Do you understand? And so that's another big part of this process, is really interfacing with hunger and not freaking out about it. Again, subconsciously, because it's triggering old evolutionary responses that we live in this modern world with food abundance, but we still can get anxiety that we might not have enough food tomorrow. That's like hardwired into us. So part of the process of mastering your weight is intentionally developing a sense of calm and peacefulness that there's plenty of food. I'm going to be fine. At least in this environment, as I know it now, I don't have to worry about there being enough food. There is enough food. And so that is a part of the process that we got to calm that down, because we are born with that intrinsic anxiety about not having enough to eat, because that's how we evolved over all these years. Carrie says, I was able to quit alcohol to be healthier, but I can't figure out this food thing. Yeah. Well, Carrie, like I said, I hope please get on my email list. You should join the program, but at least get on the email list, and I'll help you figure it out. You're not going to figure it out. You're not going to figure the food thing out. Okay. I'm just going to say it outright. You all trying to figure out the food thing on your own is like saying me putting you in front of a piano and saying, okay, figure the piano out. Could you figure a couple things out? I don't know, maybe, but you have no idea how to even understand it. So it's very hard. It's like, I learned Chinese by yourself. Good luck. So trying to figure the food thing out on your own is very difficult, because not even that it's so hard, but you've been so conditioned in the wrong direction by the diet industry that it's hard to let go of all that bullshit. So, I like a drink every now and then too. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Again, we all get to choose what we're going to do. So, that's the beauty of being, free in America, and wherever you live in the world, hopefully you're free to decide what you want to do. But again, I love the idea that I don't want to be the healthiest person I can be. I love starting with that because I used to, I'm a yoga instructor. And so when I was really, really into yoga, I never stopped drinking. And I used to have a problem with drinking. And so I didn't identify as an alcoholic. I didn't like that definition then. I don't like it now. And I've been able to manage my alcohol consumption. I was able to get control of it. And, but I've drank the entire time. And so even when I was really into yoga, I know people would be like, oh, how are you going to do yoga and drink alcohol? And I'd be like, would you rather me drink alcohol and not do yoga? So it's like, like, fuck them. You're able to do what you want to do, and you're going to do what you want to do anyways. So you might as well just respect that fact, acknowledge it, and then build on that and bring yourself in the direction you want to go in. So you can drink alcohol and be healthy. You can eat sugar and weigh what you want. You can eat cookies and weigh what you want. You have to eat them differently, but you can have both. And I think that's the starting point to mastering your weight, because you dieters are always like, oh, once I quit sugar, then I'll master my weight. Well, you never want to quit sugar. So you're in a real pickle now. As soon as I quit carbs completely, then I'll master my weight. You don't want to quit carbs completely. So cut the shit, Billy says, major ankle surgery at 40 has prevented me from running the weight off like I used to, but I can still stretch, walk, and do yoga. Listening to you really helped. Down 10 pounds in the last 6-7 weeks. Great job, Billy. And, to that point, I remember 19, so I was 54 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was like, I got to get this under control. And I started thinking about how am I going to do it? And the first thought comes to my head, you have to exercise. And then that was the most magical day, because I remember finally this other voice came up and said, I don't want to fucking exercise. I don't like exercising. And so I was like, what can I do? What are my strengths? I'm like, I'm lazy. Well, what can I do that's lazy and still is going to allow me to master my weight? Well, I'll eat better. I'll eat less, which is lazy. And I'll control my eating. That way I don't have to worry about exercising. And that's what I did. Plus, I think there's the added benefit. If you master your eating, you set yourself up for forever success, because now, I've never exercised to keep the weight off. Like I do a lot of yoga, and I walk, but I don't like do any consistent gym type exercising that would have any real impact on my calorie consumption. I've mastered my weight by mastering my eating. And that sets me up so that, like, even last year, I broke my foot. And so now I can't walk as much. And I'm way more sedentary. My weight didn't move much at all because I mastered my eating. And so as I get older, again, worst case scenario, I won't be able to move as much. So I think building your weight mastery around a lot of exercise is a dangerous game to play. And I think if you master your eating, you're setting yourself up for long-term success. So great job, Billy. I think that's wonderful. And I will tell you, the yoga, and I do a very, very gentle yoga. It's not burning any calories, but the yoga has been instrumental in helping me master my weight, because the yoga has made me more aware of my body, aware of my mind, my moods, what I'm eating. And that has supported me in making better food choices. So again, I love what you're saying, Billy. Yeah, one thing it's taken away and we open ourselves to other opportunities. That's very great solution-oriented thinking. I love that. You're helping me change my life. Thank you. That's awesome, Spence. I appreciate you saying that. That's what I'm here for. Carrie says, I've realized I eat because I've been told I have to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, etc. Yeah, of course. You've been conditioned by the food industry. That's the last people I'd want to listen to have me tell me how to eat. I mean, shit. Look, we all grew up with the fucking eating pyramid, which is total bullshit, right? That has nothing to do with your health and nutrition. It has everything to do with people making money off of selling you grains and bullshit. So, there's a lot of bullshit out there when it comes to food. You all know that. I don't need to tell you that. But yeah, even like how you think about eating is wrong. That's why I tell you, like, even in the program, the eating structure, the eating blueprint that you fill out in the program, I've always kind of had that as an aside. Now I realize, holy shit, this is profound, because people really don't know how to eat to master their weight. You really don't. You know how to eat to diet, to lose weight quickly, but you don't know how to eat to master your weight. And once people kind of get into this concept, it's really been really helpful to them. So, because just to your point, I realized I don't know how to eat. I've been told a bunch of bullshit, and that's where you're at. So you got to figure that part out, and then everything becomes easier. All day removals, 1 meal a day. Yep. So 1 meal a day. So all day has been doing 1 meal a day for 2 weeks and is scared to step on the scale. So again, I hate to say it all day, but prove me wrong. Okay. But I think I don't know what you're doing. You never listen to me. You're here all the time. You listen to my stuff. I know you got desperate and you just said, I got to do it, but let me get on to doing it. Because if you loved one meal a day, right? So I'll give you an example. I started intermittent fasting back in the day before it was called intermittent fasting. And so I always refer to it as nighttime fasting. And I go to bed here and I used to eat right up until bed pretty much. And I started to make a bigger window. And when I started doing that, it was it was a little challenging. I won't say it wasn't challenging, but I felt amazing. Like as soon as I started doing that, I started sleeping better. I felt better. My body finally relaxed. I felt like what it was like to give my body a break from eating, and it felt amazing. And so when you're doing one meal a day, I bet you don't feel that way. I bet you feel lots of stress and anxiety all day, every day doing one meal a day. And if you don't, if you love one meal a day, then who gives a shit if you lost weight or not over the last 2 weeks? You see? So I already know you're doing this thing you're not enjoying. It's really hard. It's really anxiety inducing. And you're scared to shit to step on the scale because you think it's going to be no weight loss or not as much as you thought. And that's going to blow your motivation out and you're not going to be able to keep it up. And that's everyone's diet experience in a nutshell. And here you are doing it one more time, but this might be the last time you do it. Maybe you'll realize finally that this doesn't work, or maybe you'll thrive and just kill it and do one meal a day for the rest of your life and never have to worry about your weight again. What's up, Shireen? Losing has been challenging while I build muscle. I tweaked my workout a month ago and love it, but it's hard to find the weight loss consistency. I'm staying patient and weighing myself every day. Yeah. When you start lifting weights, that is frustrating because it throws off the weight loss a bit. So what I will say to you though, Shireen, is to really focus in on your process. Again, going into the eating blueprint, getting that locked in, and then how well am I following this? And starting to get a lot of good things from how often I'm going to the gym, how I'm getting good at my workout. Like you said, you tweaked your workout and that felt good. You want to treat your eating blueprint the same way, where you're tweaking it so that it works for you. And you get the pleasure from that because you're figuring something out and realizing that once I figure this out, I'm going to master my weight. And you will master your weight. Maybe you'll tweak your blueprint and you won't get to the weight you want, but you'll now have a stable, structured eating plan that you can strategically start just cutting things out to lose the weight. Hope that makes sense. Let's see here. Karen says, I love the scale, motivates me and keeps me on track, but I don't get upset if it goes up 2 or 3 pounds. Yeah, that's good, Karen, right? Exactly. Learning how to deal with the scale, I think, is important, with this whole thing. Mario says, remember that one video you made saying nothing tastes as good as thin and healthy feels, and people get so angry in the comments. I'm truly confused what this has to do with eating disorders. Yeah. Okay. So I get that. And I didn't know either, by the way. I was so in the weight loss world for so long that when I started making videos for TikTok and like nothing tastes as good as thin and healthy feels has been like my core mantra for like decades. And so all of a sudden I made a video about it and it's like eating disorder. And it's like, but that's because Kate Moss back in the day said nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And Kate Moss was kind of like the leader of like that kind of heroin chic look and eating disorders. And so even though I'm saying it's thin and healthy and I mean something completely different, eating disorder people are triggered real easy. And so I get that. And I don't understand it, but people aren't really thinking clear with it. So what I come up with is people think different things about, you give the same information to them, people respond differently. So yeah, I hear what you're saying with that. And I was confused by that for a while as well. Don says 62, no meds, no pain, great shape. Good job, Don. Oh, 52. All right. I aged 10 years due to the typo. That's all right though. 62, you'll probably be in the same spot. Yeah, I want to feel better, live longer, and love myself. Paula, I think that's brilliant, right? That's what I'm talking about. Love myself too. Because, again, we get to, I believe the 2 biggest motivators in your life should be your length of life, how long you live, and your quality of life while you're here. And I think if you make those your 2 main goals, you're going to be better off. What's up, Don? How's it going? Good to see you here. Heather says, I have such a habit of eating when I walk into the house, regardless of true hunger. I'm thinking I should rehearse this. It's been hanging over me forever. Oh yeah, Heather, this can be easy work. Okay. Cause you're, again, Heather, you're the primo for this program because you're always thinking of this shit, but you're not thinking of it correctly. So it's like, even now, like what you just said, That's more than half the process. The rehearsal piece of it, and again, you redo it and then you rehearse it. Use both. And that's important because you code things differently. When you think of the past, like you're like, say it's 8:00 at night and you walked in today, right, from work and you went and ate. The way you think about 5:00, let's just say it's 8:00 at night. The way you think of 5:00 3 hours ago and the way you think about 5:00, 22 hours or 20 hours from now, 21 hours, are different. You code them different. One's in the future and one's in the past. So doing the redo on it first and then doing the rehearsal, you're getting both of those. Okay. But you're absolutely right. That's exactly what you want to do that for. So that's perfect. The awareness is more than half the battle. So you got the awareness of it, and then we'll work on articulating the solution and installing it. So great job though. That's exactly how it works. Jim, I'm 63 and hear you loud and clear. I'm having trouble with joint pain in my knees, legs, and feet. Yeah, this is the real motivation. And again, you have to understand the obesity conspiracies, the big three, the food companies, the diet companies, they're one and the same, and the medical establishment. I love doctors, I love medicine, but we have to recognize that the medical establishment model is built on treating the symptom, not the cure. And so they love selling you insulin, type 2 diabetes medicines, knee replacements, all the bullshit. And they don't make a lot of money from teaching you quality nutrition and a high quality of life and high level of health. That directly goes against their interest. It just is what it is. And so, yeah, make this more important and you'll get better results. Please tell us again how we can receive your daily emails. Yeah, just go to my bio. So you're on TikTok. So go to my bio and there's a link right in my bio. Click it, answer like the 4 questions and get the hypnosis session. I'll bring you right to the video to watch. You'll get my emails. You'll get everything. It's all free. Okay. So it's simple that way. Exactly. That's me. I've always been an athlete and ate accordingly. Yeah. But now is not as active as beat the same. There you go, Carrie. Exactly. Right. We got to adjust for our activity levels, and most people's activity levels go down. The reason you're able to eat so much in high school, yeah, your hormones are a little different, but you're probably way more active as well. Just the fact of walking around school, I know people that aren't very active that can go to school and hit 10,000 steps. Billy says having a weekly eating strategy has helped a ton. I barely had a strategy for the day before. Yeah, Billy, right? Billy, you should get the program too. I get it now. It's $300. Jesus Christ, you can't spend $300 on your on your health and weight mastery. But I'll take you through how to structure your eating at a very high level, and then you get the mindset and lifestyle stuff too. But great job doing that. Deanna says, was listening to another podcast the other day and she said the food industry literally paying tons of registered dietitians to say their food is actually healthy. Yeah, you just can't trust a lot of people. And I hate to say it, but I don't know, you just can't. And that's just that. Don says, cannot intermittent fast just for weight loss. How do you be for overall health? In my opinion, weight loss is a side effect. Yeah, I think that's a good framing of that, Don, for sure. All day says, not really. I actually feel great. I don't think of food as much. Then great job all day. Then don't be worried about the scale. See, that's what I'm saying. If you're getting all these benefits from doing the 1 meal a day, then really focus on those benefits and let those be the reasons you want to continue this. You'll lose weight. If you stick with 1 meal a day for the next year, I promise you're going to lose a lot of weight. But, anyways, yeah, then don't be scared. Just weigh yourself. And let me know how you feel when you step on the scale next time. You know where I'm at all day, right? You get on here and you get on here all day, and I'm here to help you as well. I help anyone that gets on these lives. But let me know what happens. Go step on the scale. Stop being afraid of it. Okay, good for you. I'd be more scared of doing 1 meal a day. So you accomplish that. So go and weigh yourself. All right, don't be scared of that. You've got 1 meal a day for 2 weeks. Wonderful job. And now go weigh yourself. All right. Go banish the fear. Banish the fear. How are people successful with their weight loss? How are you successful with your weight loss? You change how you eat. That's the most simplest explanation. But dieters can only change how they eat for a little while because they do ridiculous, overwhelming things. I don't want to say 1 meal a day is overwhelming and ridiculous. I don't want to say that because it's not for some people. But if it is 1 meal all day, then realize there's other alternatives. Jen says, I missed the beginning. What's free? What's free is all the stuff I give you. And so you can get it. Go to my bio, click the link and get the hypnosis session I give you. Get the I give you all sorts of stuff. So just go to my bio, click the link and get the thing. If you're on the podcast listening, you can go to programyourselfthen.com. And the navigation up top that says free hypnosis session. Go sign up and get that. I'm here to help you. I got a program too. You should get the program probably, but start with the hypnosis. See if you like it. Watch the video I made. See if it makes sense to you. But if it does, I don't know what the hell you're all waiting for. Again, I understand when I had the group coaching, it's a little, big investment for some people, but I mean, come on now. If you can't invest $300 in yourself, and plus the $300 program, I guarantee. So it's like, use it. You got to use it. Okay. You fill out the blueprint, which takes about an hour. And after watching the videos and doing it all, and then you listen to the hypnosis sessions in the morning, 5-minute hypnosis session. And I guarantee it'll help you lose weight. And if it doesn't, I give you money back. I don't want your fucking money if it doesn't work. I'm joking, but it's true. Myra says to me, OMAD sounds terrifying. I envy people who can truly do it. Yeah, exactly. But again, if it resonates with you, then great. You knock yourself out. But if you don't like doing it, there's always other options. Deanna says, why we love you, because you took the no bullshit oath. I really do take no bullshit oath. I do. I keep saying scale not budging, but today I did step on it and it's down 5 from right after vacation in March. Slow but steady. Yeah. That's what I mean, Deanna. That's what I mean. So I know it's hard because it's not even hard. It's just that you've been conditioned. Everything's relative. Have you ever had this experience where like you're driving in your car and you hear a song you really like and you turn it up and you pull into your driveway or garage and you turn the car off and you go inside. The next day you get in your car and it's like, holy shit, why is it so loud? Right? That's kind of like how you've been conditioned to think about your weight loss. You've been conditioned by the weight loss industry. Think about it. You've seen millions, literally millions of ads in your lifetime from the diet companies that every single ad is the before and after picture and how quickly you can make that happen. And so your expectations of how fast you can lose weight are so crazy that they're nowhere in the realm of real life. And so what you're saying, Deanna, and again, Deanna, 5 pounds in 2 months, you're well, whatever. First of all, she doesn't have that much weight to lose, but B, she's done it in a way that's sustainable and she's built to maintain. So it's a completely different paradigm, but great job, Deanna. I'm happy for you because it's fun when that happens. Slow but steady. Absolutely. All right, everyone, I got to get out of here. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Great questions, great comments. I appreciate all of them. Thank you for watching. And again, get on my email list and listen to that hypnosis session. Watch the video. The videos are the key thing. And then read the emails I send you and listen to the podcast and follow me, right? I was like, some people listening to the lives and not following me. Follow me because you'll get my videos popping up and you'll get notified when I go live. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So have a super day and we'll talk soon. Bye.